So guys, in this next news story, a gang have been jailed after the police uncovered a vast drug supply network in East London. In total, 42 men have been convicted, disrupting the supply of millions of pounds worth of drugs to Hampshire and Brighton, following a 3-year investigation by officers from Hackney and Tower Hamlets. Police found a dedicated drug network after they seized 2 phones in 2020 and accessed large amounts of data and messages. The investigation found 14 supply lines, which have all now been closed. Police also uncovered a sophisticated criminal network of men who pretended to be taxi drivers to supply around 37 kilos of drugs, including cocaine, heroin, crack, MDMA, ketamine, and cannabis. Specialist officers carried out 49 search warrants, leading to 42 men being arrested and charged with drug supply offences. Jewellery worth £54,000, £200,000 in cash and drugs were seized, with a street value of £83,000 drugs were also seized, and the final 18 men involved were sentenced at Snaresbrook Crown Court last week. Between them, they received more than 150 years in prison for their part in supplying illegal drugs. The other 24 people convicted were jailed for more than 220 years for their part in the offences. Detective Superintendent Georgina Zumeri said, "This investigation demonstrates Met officers going above and beyond to make London safe by removing drug dealers from the communities of East London. This is community crime fighting at its best, removing offenders who impact the lives of those around them. The supply of drugs has devastating consequences on communities across London and beyond. It causes addiction, having devastating health impacts, as well as leading to antisocial behaviour and violence." So it's believed that the gang sold drugs from old runarounds, posing as fake taxi drivers with dealers and addicts behind the wheel, while other dealers ran the drugs line from the back seat. The group also made sure to swap or sell their cars every few weeks, hoping to stay one step ahead of the police. Detective Inspector Hill, who was leading the investigation, says, "We have seen it all before, but not on the scale of this operation. It was specific that this method was being used by the group." Police also went on to say the crazy thing about this is that these guys also had an accountant. He said police could see the 24/7 drug operation, which was run like a proper business, with those lower down in the pecking order reporting their sales and even claiming expenses for petrol and lunch. They also noticed the WhatsApp chats were also used to foster competition and admonish each other if their sales efforts fell short. There was a competition between the lines. They would report back the figures and boast about who had the best turnover that day, like a sales team. So those sentenced are as follows. Mansoor Ali, who's 32, from Tower Hamlets, got 17 years. Mohammed Mohsin Khan, who's 31, from Barking and Dagenham, got 15 years and 3 months. Sadiq Rahman, who's 31, got 14 years and 3 months. He's from Barking. Afroz Mir, who's 41, from Ilford, got 13 years and 6 months. Shamadul Islam, who's 29, from Mile End, got 12 years and 6 months. Mamadul Hassan, who's 28, of Tower Hamlets, got 19 years and 6 months. Muhammad Ali, who's 30, of Tower Hamlets, got 12 years. Mohammed Aminul Hoke, who's 30, from Limehouse, got 9 years and 3 months. Shumel Ahmed, who's 29, of Bow, got 6 years and 4 months. Mohammed Jakaria, who's 27, from Popular, got 7 years and 6 months. Mohammed Kifayat, who's 29, from Tower Hamlets, got 9 years. Iqbal Mia, from Bow, got 5 years and 6 months. Shano Rahman, who's 28, got 7 years and 3 months. Shadano Rahman, who's 23, from Tower Hamlets, got 6 years. Shakiruddin, who's 23, from Tower Hamlets, got 3 years and 4 months. Koyaz Hussein, is 22, from Southend-on-Sea, got 300 hours unpaid work. You got Abdul Saleh from Bow, got 3 years and 11 months. He's 28. And Imtiz Islam, who's 27, from Limehouse, got 6 years. So guys, in this next news story, a mother suffering from road rage pushed a pensioner over, then left her for dead in the gutter after refusing to move her car. Kay Davis flew into a rage against a 79-year-old woman after the elderly woman was smacked into the bonnet of a Mercedes GLC in a parking spot in Finchley Central on March 16, 2022. Footage was played at Hendon Magistrates Court, which showed the hairdresser square up to the old woman and push her, causing her to stumble sideways and smack her head against the pavement. Davis then grabbed her handbag from her car and marched off to work, leaving Miss Lindsay laying unconscious in the road at the mercy of pelting rain. Police questioned her later that day, and Davis denied the assault and claiming she was gesticulating at Miss Lindsay to prevent her from damaging the car when she stumbled backwards and fallen. Despite overwhelming evidence, the mother of three continued to deny pushing the victim. The prosecutor, Jonathan Mole, told the court how Miss Lindsay tried to reverse out of her parking space when Davies blocked her exit. Miss Lindsay, who walks with a crutch because she's very old and got bad hips, then got out of her car and tapped on Davies' window to ask her to wait. Miss Lindsay got back in her car and beeped her horn, and then got out again and walked around the front to slap Davies' bonnet as she continued driving towards her. The bonnet slap prompted Davis to jump out of her car and square up to Miss Lindsay before pushing her over and leaving her on the floor in the rain. The defendant pushed Miss Lindsay to the chest, causing her to fall over, hitting her head on the pavement, causing her head to split open. Her memory of the incident is unclear. She thinks she lost consciousness. In a victim impact statement, Miss Lindsay said, "On the day of the incident itself, I suffered great trauma to my face, which was bleeding profusely. The last thing I remember is Davis coming towards me with raised fists. Then I woke up on the floor." The victim recalled how members of the public rushed over to help, covering her with coats and protect her from the rain. And when police arrived on the scene, they advised her to stay on the floor to avoid any further injury. She says, "I was laying in the gutter and I physically could not move or get up. I was left in the gutter in a deep puddle for approximately 40 minutes before the ambulance arrived." Once she was loaded into the ambulance, she was stripped to her underwear and covered in foil and blanket to stop her dying of hypothermia. She suffered cuts to her upper eyelid and lower lip, bruising on her brain, and cracked to her £7,000 dental bridge, and she also continues to have knee pain, but results from x-ray taken last year have not come back. She says, "I'm still in pain and there are still scars on my face. It's a constant reminder of what happened. I feel it was completely out of the blue and uncalled for. I now know I can't defend myself against behaviour like that. It's not something I thought that would happen to me. I think twice now where I go, where I park, and who I confront." She's age 71 now. She said, "It's the point. I was doing really well before she hit me. I do not expect to be hit by somebody younger than me, but, I've been doing much worse since the incident. I feel like I've aged 10 years. Defence counsel Donna Longcroft argued her client, who has 13 previous convictions, including 2 assaults, had finally come to terms with the attack. Judge Karim Ezat said, "In the pre-sentence report, it says she has not done anything wrong." In the pre-sentence report, she said, "I did not push her. I gesticulated. She must have flinched and tripped and fell." The defence replied, "She does accept she made contact with the complainant. The CCTV is damning, but she claimed it was not at all obvious to her that Ms. Lindsay was vulnerable and she was not looking for trouble when she went to work." She also claimed Davis had been shocked by photos of the victim. Judge Izat pointed out she did not care. She did not take a moment to think, "Crikey, there's someone laying on the floor." She also said that Davis has been conditioned to look away from violence after abuse from her ex-partner, who's currently serving life in prison. She said Miss Davis is sorry. She could never have anticipated from that simple touch this would happen. She also said Davis, who runs a mobile beauty treatment company, would pay whatever it takes in compensation. She said, "When I look at the pre-sentence report and I hear what has been said on your behalf in mitigation, it comes on the face of it. You are someone who does not accept what you have done. There does not seem to be any empathy or remorse other than from where you are now, which is facing prison. You leave somebody in the gutter and you absolutely have no regard for that. You do not even accept in your pre-sentence report that you should not behave like that. The offence is so serious, only a term of immediate imprisonment is appropriate."
So guys, there's a number of stories coming out the streets of the UK. It's your boy GC. Keep it locked, keep it real.